Welcome back, everyone. Glad you are with us. We are talking about housing and money that is available to prevent evictions in Tennessee. We have with us three guests in this half hour. We had three in the previous half hour. In this half hour, we're talking more about the state of Tennessee. We have with us Legal Aid Society, the director of the Vanderbilt Housing Law Clinic, and somebody with Tennessee Housing Development Agency. Several calls. So let's go to Mark. Hello, Mark.
How you doing?
Fine. What's on your mind?
I have a question. I wonder, can you be put out if you late on your rent? I pay my rent every month. I'm not behind on my rent. It's just I be late every month paying my rent because I have other bills to pay, and I wonder, can they evict you for being late on your rent?
Have you received an eviction notice?
An eviction notice? An eviction notice?
He's gone. So his question is, can you be evicted for being late with your rent? Who wants to take that? Legal aid?
I can go ahead and take that. So generally, the law says that in Middle Tennessee, you've got your payment date that your rent is due, and then there's a bit of a grace period. However, if you're consistently paying late on your rent, that is eventually going to be considered a material breach of your lease. That's why the lease says you have to pay on the first day of the month, fifth day of the month, those sorts of things. So if you continue to do that over and over, the landlord can eventually terminate your lease. And there's a process for that, getting notice, going to court, and then being evicted.
Jennifer, could you quickly describe what is the Vanderbilt Housing Law Clinic? Tell us just briefly about that.
Certainly. So the Vanderbilt Housing Law Clinic was created a year ago in response to, the rising levels of, gentrification and, the difficulty people are finding to afford places to live in the Nashville metro area. So what we are is we are housed within Vanderbilt Law School, and it's me, the professor, and the supervising attorney, and it's staffed by 8 law students. And our mission is to do what we can to reduce housing insecurity through education, outreach, and advocacy. And so we've been a part of Judge Bell's legacy court. I believe she spoke in the first half an hour. We represent tenants at their eviction hearings and general sessions. We work with nonprofits that are looking to create more affordable housing options in Davidson County. So really, we're just trying to increase the availability of housing options for some of our most vulnerable
That's great.
residents.
And Cynthia, could you talk about what does it take to access this money for landlords and for tenants? Again, let's say they're in a situation where they need it. What does it take to access this money?
So thank you, Ben. Again, as I mentioned previously, we developed a very easy to use mobile phone friendly application that requires minimal documentation from the tenant and the landlord to apply. I could say there's 3 documents that the tenant has to upload and 4 documents that the landlord has to upload. In some of those cases, I know the lease is on both ends. We could go ahead and use one of the parties' lease, not necessarily both. And we're currently evaluating our processes and updating them to make the process even easier for folks to access this emergency rental assistance that's out there. We want to make sure that we get the money out to the tenants and landlords promptly. We're created again this website that they could access everything that they need. There are frequently asked questions listed on the website for them to go through and troubleshoot some of their items where they can access their own answers. And if not, they could always call our call center at 844-500-1122. Again, our website is www.thda.org/COVID rent relief. And if they already have an eviction notice at hand, they could go ahead and email us directly at covidrentrelief@thda.org, and we'll go ahead and expedite their review process.
And Zach, I guess explain in the time we have here, in the couple minutes, legal aid can help in what way? If you're, again, facing eviction, how can legal aid help? How do you find legal aid?
Yeah, and Ben, I'm actually going to touch on two things, and I just want to point out from your first session, you had the Nashville Rent Relief Program on there. Cynthia, representing THDA, is covering the majority of Middle Tennessee, but there is also a rent relief program for Rutherford County residents. So if you're a Rutherford County resident out there, make sure you're going to rutherfordcountytn.gov/rent relief program or calling them at 615-334-4777. And then, Ben, to your question, the value that legal aid can give is we give out legal information. We've got brochures out there for people who just want to know what their rights are. For people who want to talk to an attorney, they can call in Tuesdays at 2 p.m. to our legal clinic line and talk to an attorney for free at 1-833-920-0420, or be referred to our partner agency, the Tennessee Alliance for Legal Services, at 1-844-435-7486. And finally, if they're looking for representation in court, I need somebody to help me. The gentleman from Wilson County earlier who's got the eviction case, I would really encourage that person not only to contact THDA for rent relief, but to simultaneously contact legal aid for representation to see if we can help them in court defend their eviction. And that number is 1-800-238-1443.
All right, a lot of good information, some really good information. And yeah, I'm glad that you brought up Rutherford County. We have a ton of people watching in Rutherford County. Could you give those numbers one more time for rent assistance in Rutherford County?
Yeah, of course. The Rutherford County website for assistance is rutherfordcountytn.gov/rental relief program. And the phone number is 615-334-4777. And it operates Mondays through Fridays, 8 to 4:30, and Saturdays from 9 to 12.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you all. Very good information. I appreciate all of you for coming on. So that'll wrap up this segment. Stay tuned. We'll come back and wrap everything up in a moment, but we'll be right back after this.